Hello, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today we're going to do some yoga for cyclists, and you don't have to be a cyclist in order to benefit from this. But I do indoor cycling on occasion, so I understand the tightness and the pain that happens to some muscle groups from doing that kind of workout. I live in a very cycle-friendly community. There's a lot of cyclists in our area, so this one is specifically for you. So we're going to start in a seated position, so go ahead and find your way there. Legs crossed, legs can be extended out or tucked underneath you, whatever feels best. And just bringing the hands onto the knees and finding a little bit of length through the spine. If you feel comfortable doing so, closing the eyes. If not, just softening the gaze down towards the floor. And take a deep inhale, fill the body. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Yes, let it go. One more deep inhale. Open the mouth. And then closing the lips and allowing the breath to flow in and out through the nose. We start by quieting the mind, focusing it on the breath, so that as we move, we can be very mindful and present in our movements. We don't want to overstretch or overstimulate anything. So we want to be very aware of what our body is feeling in this moment. So taking a quick body scan, noticing through the body, what feels tight, feels kind of closed off or firm. And then lovingly starting to breathe into those places, seeing if you can soften in with the exhale. And then also taking this moment to notice into any places that feel open, alive, warm, like they're flowing free today. Taking a moment just to enjoy those places, breathing in, filling them with breath. And then we're going to bring the hands down beside us. Open the arms up as far as you can go while still touching the fingertips to the ground. And then we're going to start to walk it behind us even more, starting to press the heart forward and up, feeling those shoulder blades start to soften onto our back. So we're pressing our weight forward into our hips, more towards our knees, reaching the heart up, finding length, openness through the chest. Breathing into that space. One more deep inhale. And exhale, walk it back. As you inhale, reach the arms up overhead, and then we'll bring the right hand down beside us. The left arm is going to reach up and over, and we're looking for a side stretch down the left side of the body. But staying connected to the ground. So pushing the ground away with that bottom hand, feeling both hips root in, and then extend up through the torso. Find that length. Feel that top shoulder soften onto your back a little bit. Maybe the gaze starts to go up. Notice if that bottom shoulder is crunching into your neck. Lengthen away from it. Take one more deep inhale. And as you exhale, that top hand's just going lower down to the right. And then we're going to gently walk the hands forward. And we're going to soften ourselves down towards the earth. So that as you inhale, you can feel that breath in your back. Feeling the fingertips reach forward, the tailbone reach back. Next inhale walks the hands over to the left. We're going to find that side stretch on this side. So right fingertips reach up and open. Press the ground away. Soften the top shoulder onto your back and find that length up through the torso. Notice into that bottom shoulder. It's creeping up on you. Open up. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, lower the hand down to the left, walk it forward. We're going to start moving with the breath. So the inhale walks you back over to the right. Find the side stretch. Exhale, walk it back center. Inhale, bring it over to the left. Open up. Exhale, lower down. Find center. Inhale, back over to the right. Exhale, lower down. Find center. Inhale, back to the left. And we're going to lift all the way up from there. And as you exhale, rotate it to the right. Lower the arms down, gentle twist. Inhale, sweep it up center. Exhale, gentle twist to the left. Inhale. So as you continue to find it side to side, keep that length through the spine. Moving into the twist on the exhales. Inhale, lengthen. Stay rooted down through the hip. Reach the crown of the head up. Inhale. No weight in the hands. Inhale, find center, palms touch. Exhale, slide it down. Beautiful. And we're going to bring our feet out in front of us. The knees are going to be bent. Just going to walk it out a little further. Bring the hands behind you. We're going to lean back our weight into the hands, lifting the chest. And then we're going to cross the right ankle over. Let me switch up. Right ankle over the left thigh. So we're looking for that stretch to be on the outer side of that glute. Flex that right foot by pulling the toes towards the knee. Push out through the heel. That's going to protect the joints. We also want to make sure that knee crosses all the way over the thigh. So the foot's not resting on the leg. The ankle crosses all the way over and we feel bone on bone. So we're not pushing on a joint. We're resting the bones on top of each other. And maybe you don't really feel anything here, in which case press into the hands, lift the hips, slide it forward a little bit closer to that grounded foot, and then walk the hands in, pressing the heart towards that front shin. So you control how deep this goes. And just breathing and softening into it. And if you moved in close, walk yourself back. And we're going to allow that right foot to just fall down to the side of the mat. And we're going to find a twist. So we're trying to get both hips down. That left ankle might come in a little bit closer. So grounding down through both hips, planting down through that right foot. The left heel is in close to the hip. And as you inhale, find length, and we're going to rotate to the right. Keep that length in your spine, gently drawing that knee towards you. And we'll release. Bring the hands back to the mat. Lift the legs back up. Uncross. And allow the feet to separate. And we're going to just allow the knees to drop to one side and then the other. Just softening, moving through the hips. And then same thing, opposite side. So this time, right ankle over that left thigh, making sure. Nope, switching it out. Left ankle over the right thigh. Making sure the ankle pokes out on the other side, flexing that foot. And if you want, move it in a little bit closer to that grounded foot, pressing the heart forward, feeling into that stretch. So on an intensity scale of 1, no sensation, and 10 being pain, you're looking for about a 5 or a 6 here. So you can feel the stretch, but you're nowhere near your deepest place of sensation here, if that makes sense. So you can feel the stretch, you can breathe into it, but you can hold it for a few breaths. It's not causing you discomfort. again, we're going to allow that left foot to fall over onto the ground, rotating ourselves a little bit so that we can get the hips firmly planted. So left foot plants, right heel in next to the left hip as close as it's willing to come, grounding down through both hips. As you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, rotate to the left. And just gently drawing that knee in towards you. No weight in the backhand. You've got all your weight in the hips, which is why we want to be grounded down through both hips. And bringing the hands behind you again, gently drawing it back up, uncrossing, and again, separate the feet. Knees fall side to side. A windshield wiper. And then we're going to extend the legs out long. And we're going to take a moment to pull the glutes out from underneath us so that we can feel the hips press down into the earth. And from that downward press, find length up through the spine. Feel those toes pulling in towards you, the heels pushing away. You might already feel that stretch, that length happening on the back of the legs. If it's too intense, you can always bend the knees when you need to. And we're going to start by drawing the right knee in first. Open it up to the side. Sole of the foot comes against the inner thigh of the left leg, and that knee is just going to grow heavy. Maybe it touches the ground, maybe it's like mine and it's just floating there. It's all good. But we're going to pull the left toes in towards us. Bring the hands to either side of that leg. Use an inhale to reach the heart forward, and an exhale softens you down. The next inhale, lift and reach the heart forward. Exhale, soften it down. One more time. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, soften it down. Just growing heavy here. Using those exhales to grow a little heavier, a little softer, but keeping those left toes pulling in towards you. Yoga is a full body experience, so we don't want to leave anybody out. Keeping the leg working, those toes pulling in. We're feeling this, well, we should be feeling this along the back of that extended leg. Again, if you need to bend that extended knee, do it. If you need to lift it up a little bit, do it. You're looking for that 5 or that 6, that place where you can definitely feel the stretch, but you're breathing into it, softening into it. And then we're going to walk the hands back up. We're going to get into that chest a little bit more. So bring the right hand behind the right hip. The fingertips point away from you. And we're going to start to press down into that hand, rolling, lifting the left hip up so that the right knee can come down. And then we're going to start to press the ground away as we lift the hips up. Get rid of the hair. And reach the left arm up. And then allow it to start to fall behind you as you open the heart up towards the sky. Press the ground away with that grounded hand. Open the chest. Breathe into it. You feel it in the hips too. Openness along the front of the hips. Deep inhale here. Exhale. Slowly lowering it down. Releasing. Beautiful. Re-extend the leg. Other side. Left leg pulls in. Open it up, sole of the foot against the inner thigh. Hands come to the either side of the leg. We're pulling the right toes in. Deep inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, soften it down. Inhale, lift, lengthen, reach that heart forward. Exhale, soften it down. Last one, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, soften it down. So finding that 5 or 6 on your sensation scale, wherever it is for you. Keeping those right toes pulling in. That front knee can be bent or straight, not locked out, but straight. You should be able to feel the difference between a locked out joint and a soft little micro bend, even if you can't see it. And if your hamstring is saying you're going nowhere today, if your chest isn't coming down, in other words, stay lifted and lengthened. You should still be able to feel that stretch by pulling the toes in, pushing the heel away, feeling that right hip reach back. So working with your body, not trying to force it. It knows where it wants to go. And then we're going to walk the hands back up. Left hand behind the left hip. Fingertips point away from you. Roll over onto that left hip, lifting the right so you can press down through that left knee. And then as you inhale, reach up. Right arm reaches straight up to the sky and then starts to fall back behind you. As you open the heart up, press the hips up. Breathing into this openness, this space. Exhale, gently lowering it back down. And we're going to swing the legs around behind us, coming to a tabletop. Take a moment to curl the toes and we'll press the hips back towards the heels. Push the mat away with the hands. Feel that stretch in the feet. Lift it back up, tabletop, curl the toes, roll out through the ankles. And then we're going to find our way to our plank. And from there, pike the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here, pressing the ground away with the hands, reaching the tailbone up towards the sky. We're looking for a nice long spine. So if that means bending into the knees, bringing the thighs closer to the belly, in order to keep that nice long spine, do that here. But wherever you are, knees bent or knees straight, feel the heels start to grow a little heavier towards the ground. And then we're going to bring the right foot up in between the hands. If that means dropping to your tabletop to help that foot up, do it. Or else stepping the right foot up. But we're looking for knee to stack over ankle. So if you're back here, that's going to be a lot of tension on the joints. We don't want that. We want to help that foot come forward. Don't compromise on it here. Work until you get there. Knee over ankle. And then we're going to drop that back knee down. And maybe that back knee is straight underneath the hips. Maybe that's where your hip flexor is willing to go today. But if you can, see if you can allow that back knee to climb behind you a little bit. So it's at an angle and not directly underneath the hip. And then we're going to feel that right hip pull back and the left hip pull forward. And like you're pressing on both sides of your pelvis, find midline, push them together. And from that midline, send a little bit more energy up through the spine, finding a little bit more length, and then sink the hips down just a little bit. Finding that stretch. Fingertips can tent on the ground. Fingertips can come onto blocks or books, whatever you have available. But you're breathing. And we'll start to walk the hands back as we straighten that front knee. Peel the front toes up off the ground. Pull them towards your face. And again, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, soften down. Again, inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Last one, inhale. Exhale, soften down. Keep those toes pulling in towards you. Knee can be slightly bent. Feel that right hip reach back. And you're looking for your 5 or your 6. So if this is too intense, bring it forward a little bit. Walk the hands forward. And again, if you need to bring the hands up onto something, bring the hands up onto something. Paying attention to what your hamstring is saying about this pose. Start to walk it forward. We're going to step that foot back, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And then again, from your tabletop or your downward facing dog, left foot forward, step it up, help it to get there. Knee over the ankle, work for it. Then we're going to drop that back knee down, trying to get it at somewhat of an angle behind us. And then feel the left hip pull back, right hip forward, seal them together, find midline. Find a little bit more length up through the spine and soften the hips down. Tenting into the fingertips or hands on blocks. Breathing into it. You're going to feel it a little bit in that hip flexor. You're going to feel it a little bit in this front thigh. And if you've been sitting for a while or cycling, this should feel really good. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, start to straighten the front knee. Walk the hands back. Pull the toes in towards you. Take a deep inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, soften it down. Inhale, lift, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Last one, inhale. Exhale, soften. Holding here, feeling those toes pull in towards you. That left hip reach back. And starting to walk it forward again. Step that front foot back. We're going to separate the knees from our tabletop and push it back, child's pose. And lift yourself up. And we're going to lower ourselves all the way down onto our belly. Chin or the forehead can be on the mat. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Feel those elbows start to pull towards each other. Feel the shoulder blades start to pull towards each other. And you're pressing the hips down into the earth. So feel that core engage. And as you inhale, reach the heart forward and up, lifting it slightly. Keep the gaze down so back of the neck stays nice and long. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, lower it down, soften. Side of the face can come onto the mat as you soften and release. Breathing in. And then again, chin or the forehead back onto the mat. Feel that core engage. Elbows, shoulders pulling towards each other. Inhale, reach the heart forward and up. Deep inhale, exhale, lower it down, opposite side of the face onto the mat. The last time, chin or the forehead back onto the mat. Inhale, reach it forward and up. Breathing in here, deep inhale. Exhale, lower it down, soften. And then we're going to bring the left forearm underneath the face, maybe the side of the face rests on it. Just a little bit of support. And then we're going to bend the right knee and reach around with the right hand, grabbing onto the foot. If you need a towel or a strap to finish that connection to the foot, go ahead and grab those. But as we soften that knee in towards the hip, we're going to feel the hips press down into the earth, looking for that quad stretch. Breathing into it so you can feel the belly pressing down into the mat as you inhale. And as you exhale, the hips press down into the mat, softening yourself down into the earth. And we'll release that foot. And bring the right forearm across. Face can rest on that. Bend the left knee. Left hand reaches behind, grabbing onto the foot. And we're gently drawing that heel in towards the hip. Ooh, this hamstrings. No, this quad's a little looser on me. Feel the hips press down into the earth. And again, noticing into that breath, breathing deeply. And go ahead and release. Hands come back up underneath the shoulders. Press yourself back. And press it back, child's pose. Go ahead and lift it up, coming to your tabletop. Swing the legs around. Find your way back seated. Inhale, reach the arms up. Palms touch, and exhale, slide it down, heart center. Taking a moment to cultivate that feeling of gratitude. Gratitude for setting aside this time to move your body, do something that feels good. Gratitude for the breath. Gratitude towards someone or something in your life. And gratitude towards yourself. Till we meet on our mats again. Namaste.